God the Creator, in all of his wisdom and all of his knowledge and love, created you. He took part of himself and created a spiritual being that was like unto himself, but from part of himself, through himself, out of himself, so that all were one, coming from one mind, one body, one spirit, and one love. And so you were created. Your flame of life is the same as the God source. You are an individualized expression of God energy. You are your own being. So how do these spirit beings get clothed in flesh? Do stop for a moment and realize the miracle that your bodies are, for they are very complicated, so complicated that doctors specialize. You have a skeleton, which provides a frame and foundation to hold all your organs, such as an endocrine system, a respiratory system, a digestive system, immune system, lymphatic system, urinary system, reproductive system, a circulatory system with miles of blood vessels to carry nutrition to all parts of the body, a nervous system with miles of nerves that go to every part of your body and cell, and a muscular system to provide movement to the skeletal frame with cartilage and tendons. And finally, it is all covered with the most amazing organ of all, the skin. Your bodies are a miracle, an amazing miracle. And yet, the real miracle is, how did spirit come to inhabit the body so all that miracle could live and move? How does the life force enter and remain? Pi can be found throughout life in the universe. The appearance of Pi creates a sense of balance, harmony, and beauty in the design we find in nature. Mankind has both applied this same proportion, consciously and unconsciously, to achieve balance, harmony, and beauty in art, architecture, design, and composition. But Pi may have a more primordial purpose. You may know it as the divine ratio, the golden mean, extreme and mean proportion, the Da Vinci Code, for he used it in all his art, the Fibonacci summation series, or 1 and 1 make 2. 1 and 2 make 3. 2 and 3 make 5. 3 and 5 make 8 ad infinitum. You may recognize this as cell division. You may also recognize it as the flower of life, for it is the foundation of all life. Circles and circles and circles. The 5-cycle world, physical world, points of light are all connected. The flower of life contains every shape that exists in the universe God has created, and those shapes are the building blocks of all physical matter. They are known as Platonic solids because the philosopher Plato linked them to the spirit world of heaven and the physical elements on earth. These shapes appear throughout creation in all of everything, from crystals to human DNA. First is the tetrahedron, which represents fire. The icosahedron, which represents water. Cube, which represents earth. octahedron, which is air, and decohedron, which is ether or spirit. And so scientists today use the elements of fire, water, earth, and air, but they have neglected the use of ether or spirit, which is what brings life to everything on the earth, including the earth. When they start to use ether in their equations again, they will find surprising and truthful answers. You see this in all of nature, such as this chambered nautilus, which grows at a constant rate, and so its shell forms a logarithmic spiral to accommodate that growth without changing the shape. It becomes an equation of xn over xn minus 1. However, the n continues to get larger and larger. Therefore, the equation becomes pi xn over xn minus 1 as to n infinity. And it becomes pi 1.6180339, the irrational number, or perhaps more appropriately, the ratio number. For as you take this configuration of the nautilus, drawing lines to each of its points, you get fractal nesting, the divine golden ratio. Sacred geometry, the five-sided symmetry of the pentagon. If you draw a line from A to C, you get the diagonal over the side, which is pi. Draw another line from A to D, and you get more pi's. You get A to O and O to C, which equals pi. You also get B to D and B to O, which is pi. Put the whole over the greater and the greater over the lesser, and you still get 1.618 or pi. Now draw lines to every vortex within the pentagon, and you create a five-pointed star with a microcosm pentagon and a macrocosm pentagon. Now, take the inside pentagon and continue drawing stars into adfinium. And the stars get smaller and smaller and smaller, creating a fractal nest. But now, continue those lines outward, and you get a cascade of phi ratio scales. Again, points of light in circles and circles and circles and circles, all connected. A 5 represents humanity. The cube represents the four-direction material world, and the sphere represents spirit, the original mystery of your soul. Together create the five-sided symmetry of the embodiment of how to fit soul in biology, the Da Vinci Code. Vesica Pisces is a very sacred symbol in sacred geometry. Here we have the fish, which is the symbol of the early Christian church as it represented Jesus Christ, the Piscean messenger. The story is told that Joseph of Arimathea and 12 brethren went to England to talk to the king and ask for some land for a church. The king was so impressed with their enthusiasm for their new religion that he gave them a piece of land, which became the Glastonbury Abbey. There at the Glastonbury Abbey is a sacred well of healing water. They have placed this symbol, the Vesica Piscis, over it, representing the well of the mother, the well of healing. But we also get the Vesica Piscis in the crop circles. Here is the all-seeing eye. But here are multiple Vesica Piscis, fractal nesting, all done by the circle makers. And here is an example of one out in space. So you find Vesica Piscis as examples in all manner of nature. Here is dimension 1, linear line. Dimension 2, height. Dimension 3, space or volume. With our cube representing the three-dimensional earth and all things physical. Now in 3D. Becoming a hexagon. Our cube. And now that cube begins to spin, turning outside in and infolding to become a torus. And this torus turns and spins. Look at it from the top, and now we're going to cut it in half and look at it sideways, looking down the two sides of it. Now as it spins, it folds in on itself. And this is our Vesica Piscis, the space in which physicality takes place, the place where encoding is, where the seeds are, where future generations are held in form. Here is an apple cut in half. You see the Vesica Piscis where the seeds are. Those seeds are also held, the coding is also held in the egg, where the spirit is part of that egg. And the double helix shape of the DNA. All of it creating the future generations. The Vesica Piscis, the torus spins, each layer. As a human, you have 7 chakras, 7 auric layers. Each one of those spins, holding in form the earth, holding in form all future generations, holding in form the spirit of the human. Now here we have examples of the torus. For the torus surrounds every living thing, plant, animal, insect, even worlds without number. Here is an excellent example. Look at the tree as it is shaped in its own torus. As above, so below. Even a cell, in its division, creates a vesica Pisces in the torus. Now we have examples of fruit. Our apple. See how the torus surrounds the human, folding in, energy coming from above, energy coming from below, turning in on itself till each layer has its own torus. The earth also has one. Our entire universe has one. And here is the galactic plane. Here we have a great example of the microcosm in the cell division and the macrocosm in the galactic plane with its torus. So as we build humanity, start with the torus, with the energies coming from above and below, folding in upon each other, creating the torus. Then comes the chakra system, where all of this energy hooks into the spinal column to deliver the energy. And it radiates out in meridians throughout your body until you live and your entire energy system creates an egg shape with you inside. Now, we have 3 energy systems. The first one is the chakra system, which we've just learned about. In future times, we're going to learn about the Haiten system, which is 3 fires. It is the Ziz, the Behemoth, and the Leviathan, all which are mentioned in the Bible. Another energy system is Kundalini. This is yet a different energy system that we learn about from the Hindu. Kundalini energy activates an opportunity for the complete transformation of your life. It will support you in your deepest longing for truth and self-realization if you will only surrender and trust the process. Kundalini is kind of like the highest of all these energies, for once connected, you have total access to all the wisdom in the universe. Pi, the Da Vinci Code. The whirling torus, folding upon itself in the phi cycle world, physical world. Love, the basic component of all life. Pine cones with the pi cycle whirl. Sunflowers. Flowers of all kinds. The female reproductive system. The caduceus, which is an emblem of health, an emblem of physicality, where the axial pole represents the tree of life, or the spine, and the snakes represent rejuvenation, or DNA, spiritual energy, and the wings represent spirit. In the past paradigm, the yin and yang has been a symbol of duality in unity. The dark without the light without the dark. In the new paradigms, we are counseled, because we are God energy, that there is no darkness within us. And so we are asked to work to eliminate it, to transmute it. That candle that lights so brightly within us, to return ourselves back to that primordial energy. The purpose of this series is to give you coping skills that will help you accelerate your own spiritual growth and healing. The first one I am sharing this evening is one of breath. Here we have an example of the acupuncture system, which has all these little nodules of energy, and the main chakra system of 7. As life happens to us, instances happen. We get angry, we get jealous, we get shamed, we get guilt. We have things that happen to us. And these emotional things come in and they take up space within our emotional field, within our energy field. And if we do not deal with it, it may decide to stick around a little longer. And it may stick around so long that it becomes very solid and embedded in our body. At this point, when it becomes that embedded, it is prime for creating illness even unto death within your physical body. The Cherokee believe that all illness is the result of a spiritual illness. You must find the core issue and heal it at the spiritual level, and then it will manifest a healing in the physical level. So if you have this amount of anger, and it is creating you, let's do it before it creates physical problems. So call up the anger, or whatever it is, jealousy, just any of the problems that you may be dealing with, anger at father, anger at mother, anger at boss, whatever it is, sit quietly and call this energy up. Ask it to manifest itself, and you can feel it collect within your body and your auric field. Now, as it begins to collect, thank it for its service. Thank you, thank you, thank you for all the lessons that you've taught me. But I've learned the lessons. I don't need you anymore. And now with 3 breaths, I want you to command it out of your body, out of your spiritual energy, and blow it out. Breath 1. And release. Breath 2. And release. Breath 3. And release. And you can feel the energy leave. Now, let's try that again with another energy. This one is really strongly stuck. So let's try it again. Thank you for the lesson that you've taught me, but I don't need it anymore. And I am now setting you free. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Breath 1. Breath 2. Command you out of my spirit, out of my body. Now leave. People who can see auras can tell a lot about us. They can tell if we have anger or fear, if we've been doing drugs, if we have a spirit with us that shouldn't be with us because it'll show up dark and gray. Can also see if we have our guides and guardian angels with us. So those who learn to see spirit can tell an awful lot about us, but we want to be in the state of happiness. And one of the most important tools that I have had over the years is Louise L. Hay book, You Can Heal Your Life. She wrote this at a time when she had healed herself from cancer. It is an excellent tutorage for learning how to listen to your body and knowing when your body is trying to tell you something. She works with affirmations, which need to be repeated for 30 days. You put affirmations on your mirror in the bathroom, on your kitchen cabinets, on your refrigerator, even on the mirror in your car, anywhere where you will see them several times a day. Be reminded of them and repeat them to yourself. An affirmation is something like, I bring joy back to the center of my heart. I express love to all. In the center of her book, she has a place where she has listed different illnesses, diseases, or physical ailments that you can have. And they are listed alphabetically. And so you can go there and you can find what the improper thought is that is creating that problem in your life. And then she gives you an affirmation for correcting it. I will give you an example here. Let's take a look at ankle. Ankles represent inflexibility and guilt. Ankles represent receiving pleasure. So if you're having problems with your ankles, then there's because you're inflexible and you have guilt, or you're not allowing yourself to have pleasure. And so the affirmation that she gives is, I deserve to rejoice in life. I accept all the pleasure this life has to offer. We've spent a lot of time on the energy systems, chakra, and auric fields. Doing some type of daily meditation or exercise to clear out energies out of these auric fields is very important for health. Another that we have talked about is the acupuncture points and nodule systems within your body, and how any type of negative energy can get in there and get stuck, clog them up, create a block of your energy flow. And the easiest way to eliminate this is to work on it immediately before it stays stuck. Ask for the energy to manifest in your body. Visualize and physically breathe out energies until you feel a release. And then another thing that we have handed out is a list of negates. Negates are programs that you have accepted which might be false or just no longer are serving you and are detrimental to your forward growth and spiritual development. A list of these are available at celestialechoes.com, Spiritual Alignment. Review them and use the finger dowsing method to know if you should work on releasing any of those listed. Thank you for your time and attention. I hope that there has been information here which is beneficial to you, and you will join us again.